Hi, this is Eric Anderton with another profitable insight. Gallup estimates that the turnover in businesses because of a lack of engagement from millennials is costing the US economy $30.5 billion every single year. The US economy is starting to really pick up, and there's a big challenge in a lot of businesses because there's this gap between the boomers and the millennials. Millennials right now are 53.5% of the workforce. By 2030, they're going to be 75% of the workforce. So if you're a boomer, if you're in your 50s and 60s, the future of your business depends on the millennials in your organization. And this video is designed to help you to be a more effective mentor of millennials. So in 2017, I worked with a lot of construction companies, and $713 billion of new construction is going to be happening in 2017. That obviously impacts the economy in a massive way. Not only does it impact construction companies, but also it impacts engineering companies, architectural companies, and 73% of these types of companies are having a challenge finding people who are qualified to work in their organizations. It's a massive, massive issue. And so this Profitable Insight podcast is designed to help you to be a profitable leader, build a profitable business, and live a profitable life for the benefit of others. And the focus, again, of this podcast is very simple. 15 ways for you to be a more effective mentor of millennials. So listen up. George Orwell said this: each generation imagines itself to be more intelligent than the one that went before it, and wiser than the one that comes after it. So if you're a boomer, you think that you're wiser than the millennials in your organization. And you know what? You're probably right. But they think they're smarter than you. Are they right about that? I'm not sure. In a lot of industries, in a lot of companies, engaging millennials is a real issue. So give you a picture of who the millennials are. They're born between 1980 and 2000, so they're folks who are basically anywhere from 18 to almost 40 now in your organization. The boomers are people now who are in their 50s and the 60s. The Gen Xers, people like me, they're basically in their 40s and early 50s. So the issue in a lot of companies is this: 71% of millennials, to one extent or another, are not engaged in the organization. I believe from working with the clients and working with the companies that I work with in my business, that one of the reasons why is because there is a lack of mentoring going on in these organizations. 60% of millennials are willing to jump ship and go to another business. And I would like to say to you that if you do an effective job of mentoring people and building relationships with them, it's going to help to reduce that percentage. Okay, again, $30.5 billion is the cost to the US economy of not engaging millennials in your organization. Imagine how much time and money that's costing you. Now, why do you think this happens? Why is it that millennials aren't engaged? I believe that one of the reasons is it's because it's your fault. If you're a boomer, it's your fault if the millennials are not engaged. Your perspective could be that they're lazy, that they're entitled, that they live at home with mom and dad, that they really don't have their acts together. And you may not say that to them, but believe me, it's communicated in your attitude to them. And I want to encourage you, if you own a business or if you're a senior leader in an organization, you need to change your attitude about millennials. I understand that there's trophy kids out there and there's people who, they're just entitled and all that kind of stuff. But your job as the leader in your organization is to identify and develop the ones who aren't like that. And believe me, I know that there's tons of millennials out there who are dying to make a contribution to good organizations. In fact, I'll give you a couple of statistics. 67% of millennials are willing to work beyond what is required of them to help the business that they work in succeed. Think about that. Non-millennials, the percentage is only 60%. Okay? Now, think about this. 51% of millennials are interested in challenging work assignments. Did you know that the percentage of other generations that are interested in challenging work assignments is only 41%? Okay, these sources are from FMI, that does studies of companies in various different industries. Now, check this out. What is it that millennials want? What is it that millennials want? They want exactly what you want. Because though there's generational differences, and some of those differences are seen in the way that we communicate, and in the way that we relate to one another. Human beings are human beings. I've been studying history for over 30 years, and believe me, the reason why you can pick up a book that was written 3,000 years ago and it can speak to you and you can see yourself in that book is because human beings don't change. Okay, so what do they want? Well, think about what you want. You want money. That's why you're in business, right? To make money. You want power. You want freedom and authority. You want recognition. You want people to be able to say that person has made a contribution. You want to be able to be a role model to other people, particularly as you get older. You want your life to positively impact others. You want to build a great company, a place where people can belong, a place where people can enjoy working. And you also want to leave a legacy. That's one thing I see with the construction companies and the engineering companies that I work with. They can go down the road and they can nudge each other and they can point at something and they can say, I built that. You want to be able to build something. I'd like to say this. If you are a baby boomer or a late Gen Xer, kind of like me, and you're looking at millennials and you think that they're entitled and privileged and they're just kind of weak, stop thinking like that. They want exactly what you want. Your job is to bridge the gap between you and the younger generations, mentor them and build them up so they can make a positive contribution in your organization. Okay, so let's think about this word mentor. We got this word mentor from the literature of ancient Greece. In Homer's epic, the Odyssey, Odysseus goes away for 20 years and his friend Mentor takes care of his son Telemachus and brings him up and teaches him. Okay, so a mentor is like a trusted counselor or a guide. So think about in your organization, who can you be a trusted counselor to and a guide? Now, I understand there's some people who don't want guides and don't want counselors, but your job is to look for the people who do and then to spend time with them, building them up and teaching them how to make a positive contribution in your organization. So how's that going to happen? I want to give you 15 ways that you can mentor people. 15 pieces of advice that you can give them so that they can continue to make a positive impact in your company. You ready? Number one, tell them to be patient, Don't be in a hurry. I know young people are in a hurry. Their energy levels are high, and that's an awesome thing. But tell them to be patient. Help them to see that they're building a career. Help them to see that they need to consistently improve their technical and people skills. Give them a pathway to improve their people skills so they can build their confidence and continue to make a contribution, continue to make an impact in your organization, but encourage them to be patient. Number two, be useful. Be useful. This is a very simple way to do that. Finish the work that you've been given to do and then find something else to do. Encourage them to take the initiative once they've fulfilled the tasks that are their responsibility directly, to look for other ways to be of help to people. Encourage them and mentor them to be useful. Okay? Start with their department and then branch out into other areas of the company. Encourage them to look for new opportunities to build their skills so they can continue to make an impact in the organization. All right, now, number three, avoid jealousy. Avoid jealousy. Be happy when others in your company do well. Find out why they succeed, imitate them, and seek to help them to greater heights. Encourage your millennials to avoid jealousy. Number four, don't boast. Don't boast. Allow the quality of your work to speak for itself. All right, now we're in a society that loves to boast, right? Get onto Twitter and humble brag all day, or get onto LinkedIn and say how grateful you are for this and grateful you are for that. Just listen, don't boast. Focus on your work, focus on your craft, focus on doing an excellent job. Number five, stay humble. Okay? Don't allow success to go to your head. Hopefully your millennials are succeeding in the organization, but understand that today's success doesn't guarantee tomorrow's success. And the hard work they put in today, they're going to need to put in tomorrow in order to continue to succeed. Excuse me. You can tell I'm kind of pumped up about this topic. So listen, don't allow success to inflate your ego. Teach them and mentor them to be always thinking about what they can do to improve and increase their contribution and impact in your organization. Number six, this is really awesome. Adapt yourself to others. Young people tend to be kind of rigid in many ways and expect the world to adapt itself to them. But this is what I want to encourage you to teach them. Study how others prefer to communicate, how they like to work, and ask yourself, how can I adapt myself to contribute to their success. Okay, so number 6 is adapt yourself to others. Number 7, don't worry about a raise or a promotion. Now, that may be counterintuitive because that's one thing we all do, right? We worry about raises and we worry about promotions. Don't worry about those kinds of things. Just tell them this, and you know this is true. Good help is hard to find. Good help is hard to find. So focus on being good help. Teach them and mentor them to focus on being good help. Perks, raises, promotions, all those things will follow if they simply focus on their craft, focus on being good help, focus on serving others, focus on improving the quality of the work that they do. Number 8, don't get offended. Okay, listen, you're in the workplace, you're in the real world. You're not in college anymore. You're not in high school. Okay, people are different. In the real world, people have different opinions, different political perspectives, right? They come from different places. They have different lifestyles. Get used to it. Don't get offended. And number 9, don't keep track of offenses. In any career, you're going to get screwed. You're going to get passed over. You're going to get dissed. Whatever the word is that you want to use, don't keep track of it. Teach them not to keep track of it. Teach them to brush it off, to move on and keep working, doing their best, making a contribution in your organization. Number 10, help others when they fail. Help others when they fail. Don't be happy when other people fail. We're human beings, right? I know about you, but failure is a part of life. Don't be happy when other people fail, but try and help them to recover. Maybe they'll be there for you and help you when you go through one of your failures. So don't be happy when other people fail. Remember, these are 15 pieces of advice to give to millennials to help them to improve themselves and make a contribution in your organization. This is the way you need to mentor them. So let's move on. Number 11, recognize others. I tell you, the young are obsessed with themselves. And, the old tend to be obsessed with themselves as well. But one of the ways that you can be mentoring them is to notice people excelling and then specifically and sincerely praise them and tell others about their efforts. Focus on recognizing others. Have your eyes on other people, not on yourself, and really focus on being someone who recognizes others' high performance. Number 12, don't gossip. Okay, now you get into a business, you're going to hear stuff. You're going to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly. Don't be one of those water cooler people who stand around the water cooler or get onto the text messages or whatever the case may be, gossiping about the issues in your organization. Teach them to keep an eye out for violation of company values. That's very important. But don't get into the about people's different personalities and behavioral styles that you might get offended by. Don't gossip about others. Number 13, be confident. Be confident. Pick up your head. Hard work, serving others, generosity, and self-sacrifice will bear fruit. So teach them and encourage them to be confident. Number 14, look on the bright side. Look on the bright side. Don't give in to adversity. Business, like life, is difficult. People experience failure. When they experience failure, sit down with them, look them in the eye, sympathize with them, and let them know that they need to look on the bright side. Don't worry about failure as long as you're willing to learn from it and move on and improve and grow. And then finally, number 15, this is key, stick around. Like I said, 60% of millennials are looking for other opportunities in many ways in businesses. They're looking to move on. They're anxious. They're not settled. Encourage them. Stick around. Commit to the company. You don't have to stay for the rest of your career, but typically job hoppers aren't successful. Stick around. Learn your craft. Focus on making a contribution. Focus on getting the most out of it for yourself, but then also in making the largest contribution that you possibly can. Really focus on achieving excellence in your position and make a commitment to a company for the long term. So that means you've got to make sure as the mentor that they are in a company that they want to be in for the long term. Okay, so those are 15 things that you can mentor millennials and encourage millennials to do in your organization. So here's how you take action. Number 1, assign all of your millennials a mentor. Okay, someone that they can sit down with on a regular basis and get advice and counsel about how to perform well in your organization. Now, if you're not mentoring any of your millennials, you need to start doing that right away. Make a commitment to do that as a leader in your organization. Number 2, review this list of 15 items with each one of the millennials in your company and ask them, in what specific ways can you apply 2 or 3 of them to help you in your development in the organization? So take this list of 15. You can check them out. There's going to be a link to the web page with the list of the 15 items, and ask them to take 2 or 3 and specifically write down how they can be using those to have a positive impact in your organization. And then finally, have your executive team observe millennials in your organization and specifically and publicly recognize an employee who embodies at least 2 or 3 of the 15 characteristics that I shared with you here in this post. Okay? So, once again, millennial turnover costs the US economy $30.5 billion. Your job as a leader in your organization is to mentor your millennials so that they stick around and make an excellent contribution in your company. I want to encourage you, take these 15 ways and commit to mentoring the millennials in your company. This is Eric Anderton. This has been another Profitable Insight. Again, the purpose of these insights is to help you to be a profitable leader, build a profitable business, and live a profitable life for the benefit of others. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. I would really appreciate it if you could share this with other people. If you like it, feel free to click on the like. If you're on YouTube, if you want to share the post, please do so, because I'd love to spread this message to other people. I know it's a huge issue for many organizations. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, and have a terrific day. Thanks a lot.